Okay, I have something to tell y'all. I would say probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I had this dream. And it was like the dream seemed so real. And like I said, this happened 3 or 4 years ago. And it was a dream about a friend of mine. We used to be best friends until she moved out of state. Her name is Tracy. Some of y'all in here, you know who she is. But yeah, this was crazy. I woke up today. For some reason, when I woke up, I started thinking, the dream just like popped in my head again. I'm like, after 3 or 4 years ago was when I first dreamed it. Why is it popping in my head now? I mean, because I remembered it. It was crazy. And it was in the apartment that I'm in now. I was living in this apartment. And at the time, the guy I was dating, we was laying in bed. And it was, I don't know how to explain it, because it's like creepy, but it has to obviously mean something, especially for me to dream it 3 or 4 years ago, and then I'll wake up today and thinking about it. But like I said, it's in the same place. But where my bed's at now, my bed was in the same place but facing a different direction. And yeah. Anyways, when me and him was in bed at the time. And like I said, this is the guy I used to date. We was laying in bed, and I remember my dream. I rolled over, and he was sound asleep. Well, I saw my friend in my dream, Tracy. Like I said, we were best friends. She's still alive, and like I said, she just moved out of states while we, ain't been around each other for so long. But anyways, what's so crazy about it is, in my dream, she came by, and I literally felt like somebody was tickling my foot, and I'm like, okay. So it kind of like actually woke me up, and then I went back, it kind of woke me up, and I thought maybe he did something to it was one of my cats. Well, no. So I went back to sleep, and then again, the dream came back to me as I went back to sleep. But it's like she was, it's like my foot was being tickled. But then in my dream, when I looked at the end of the bed, I saw Tracy there. And she, like I said, at the time me and Scott were dating, he was sound asleep. Okay? Even in my dream, he was sound asleep. And I remember when I looked up, after feeling that, she grabbed my ankle and was literally trying to yank me out of the bed. And I remember when she did that, I jumped. And she had this creepy grin on her face, it's like she walked around the bed like she was watching us sleep or something. And I don't know why I would even dream something like that. Like I said, me and this girl was best friends, and she's still alive. So it's weird to dream about somebody who's still alive, like in your dream. I mean, she had one of them grins, the smile went way high. That's what it looked like. And she grabbed my ankle and tried to yank me out of the bed, and then I woke up. And I remember, I never told her about it, but I told other people about it. I don't know if they still remember or not. But I don't know why I woke up today. When I woke up, it's like, that's the first thing that was in my head when I woke up was Tracy and that dream. So does anybody have any idea on why I would dream? Like I would wake up with that dream that I had like 3 or 4 years ago, why I would wake up and all of a sudden it's like in my head. That's the first thing that's in my head when I wake up is Tracy trying to yank me off the bed. When in my dream, she wasn't even there. She was already in Kentucky. She already moved to Kentucky when I had that dream. So that's what was weird about it. So y'all didn't have any idea what that may mean? Because especially why now I wake up after 4 years of dreaming this, I wake up. And that's the first thing that's on my mind when I wake up is Tracy, that used to be my best friend. And, and then the dream is like, it just felt like it's so real. Like, usually when I have a dream, I only remember bits and pieces of it. There's been a few I remember the whole thing. But this one is like it just happened yesterday is what it seems like. That's what's so weird about it. Hold on a second. But yeah, that was creepy, and I'm still trying to figure out what that meant. But yeah, maybe if I get it off my chest, it might go away. But I've had dreams of. Well, I did have a dream one time of this guy that I used to see, his brother, in my dream, and like I said, and it always happens in this place. This one's even creepier because I guess, as far as I know, he's still alive. I haven't seen him for a while. But I remember in my dream with him, of course, the same apartment, the same bed, except my bed was in the opposite side of the room because I was always rearranging my place. And in that dream, my ex's brother came to me, and he was trying to tell me something. And it was, I think he was trying to tell me something about his mom, but it's like right before he could actually get it out, his voice would start fading, and I would wake up. And that happened to me like for 3 nights in a row. He came to me 3 nights in a row, like he was trying to tell me something about his mother. And right when he was going to spit it out of his mouth, he would start fading, and then I would wake up. So I still to this day don't know what he was trying to tell me. And with that one, I've actually got chills. So I haven't seen his mother or talked to his mother in years. So I'm hoping she's okay. I might have to try to find out if she's okay, because it was like he was trying to tell me I needed to let her know something. And, you know, at that time he was still alive, because I thought maybe he died, because I'm like connected to spirits and stuff like that. So I even, the next day I was asking people, because I said, you know, I was like, and after the third day of having the third night, I found another girl that knows him, and I said, have you talked to Cody? She's like, no. I was like, do you know how to get hold of him? I said, because for the past 3 nights I've had these dreams about him come to me. I said, I'm wondering if he's okay. But it's like he was trying to warn me about his mother, that right before he told me what he was trying to tell me, he would fade away and I would wake up. She says, that's scary. I said, you tell me. And still talking about, I didn't get chills when I was talking about the one with Tracy, but I'm getting chills with this one. I can feel the chills like all through my body right now. Yeah, creepy. So she says she don't know, but then later on she messaged me on Facebook and she told me he was fine and doing well. She told me about it, and she said that he said that was weird, but she never asked him anything about his mom, because I was kind of worried about that. But I haven't seen these people for like 2 years now, so I don't know what's going on with a lot of them. But yeah, that was like the creepiest dream ever. But I'm very attached to like spiritual energy, if there's any. And where I live at, there's been 3 people die in the apartment that I'm in. On top of that, there was somebody who died that lived upstairs before the other tenants moved up there, and there was 2 people that died downstairs in that apartment down there. So, and on the efficiency, there was somebody who we don't know if he actually died, maybe not in the apartment, but he got rushed out by ambulance. But I think he did die at the hospital. I don't know. Yeah, creepy. So there's been a lot of death in this house. I'll tell you, the guy that died here, I was living in the efficiency at the time before I moved over here, and I remember, you know, about that. But this was weird because before he died, let me take you over here. I'm trying to make it stuff. Before he died, a friend of mine named Mandy, sorry. Her and her little girl was living with me, staying with me for, you know, a couple weeks in the efficiency. Oh, wow. Let me tell you something here. In the efficiency, like right before this happened, because it was the next day I found out he was dead, because I woke up to a bunch of paramedics. And I was pregnant at that time. But he was an older man. He was on oxygen. And I came in and I was asking, you know, what was going on. Well, when I walked in the door, the police were here waiting on the paramedics. His body was laying right there in the bedroom floor. They wouldn't let me back there, but I saw his legs. His body was laying in the floor. He was like swollen from what I could see, and he was black and blue. They said he's been deceased for a while. Come to find out, he had pneumonia. He went to the emergency room. they wanted to keep him, and supposedly he didn't want to stay, so we're assuming that he died from the ammonia. Well, not thinking anything of it. About a month later, I moved in over here because it was bigger. The efficiency was too small, and I was pregnant with my son. So we moved over here because it's a lot bigger. Well, to make a long story short for that one, when I first moved in, because his friend, this girl who lived upstairs at the time, she was like seeing him off and on, like kind of like a sugar daddy thing type of deal, I guess. She said that, he would always take his trash bags. When his trash got full, he would pull the thing up, and then when trash day came, he would tie it up and then take it out. Well, the first 3 days I was living here, I noticed that when I got up, my trash bags were up. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe I did and just don't remember doing it. But then it happened. It was doing like every day at just a certain time, and so I was like, okay. So I was telling my friend about it upstairs, and she said, oh, that's what he did. He always did that until trash day, and then he would tie it because he would never leave the folder or trash can. He always wanted to hold it up so nothing falls out. And then one day, this is the creepiest. I got in the shower one day because I was getting ready to go. So I think I had a doctor's appointment. I got in the shower. Lord, that didn't last very long. I'm going to say, it's saying slow connection. For some reason, my thing's popping up slow connection. Anyway, I wasn't even shower 5 minutes. Just got, water, got my hair washed, was getting ready to rinse it out, and I felt literally like something like, I felt like a hand like go down the back of my head and down my back. It's just like, it was so soft. You talking about, boy, I jumped out of that shower with soap in my hair. I went out with a towel wrapped around me, broad daylight, knocked on her door, and I was like, Brooke. She came down. She's like, what's wrong? Dude, I said, someone just touched me in the shower. She said, what? I said, they touched me. I felt somebody rub their hand down the back of my head, all the way down my back to my back hip, and softly she goes, oh, that was just downtown. That was just him. She goes, that's what he does. She goes, he used to come up on me when I was in the shower down here when he was alive, and he would just do that to mess with me. I said, you telling me that his spirit's still in this house and he literally touched me while I was in the shower? I said, I'll never get in that shower again. Well, we did like a little house life. She thought it was so funny. I didn't think it was funny, but it's funny now, but it wasn't at the time. But she helped me do a blessing on it. That was creepy. But then after a while, stuff quit happening for a long time. But then a friend of mine came over here at this apartment. She stayed with me for a few days with her little girl, the same one I was talking about earlier, Mandy. And me and Mandy was in the living room talking, watching TV. And her little girl was in the rooms. We had like a little baby bed in there in the corner for her to sleep at. Well, we thought she was asleep because it was real quiet, and then all of a sudden, she started laughing and giggling, and me and Mandy looked at each other like, well, we thought she was asleep, like she was just laughing and giggling. So we walk in there, and we, cracked the door open a little bit so she didn't hear us, and we just listening and kind of watching, and she was sitting there laughing and just laughing and giggling like just having a good old time. So finally, Mandy's like, what's going on, babe girl? And she just looked at us and she started laughing. Her mom's like, well, what are you laughing at? What's so funny? Tell us so we can laugh too. I say she's probably like 3 or 4 at the time this happened. And she pointed over in the corner. She says, that man makes me laugh. She says, Annie offered me some candy. I got chills again now, just talking about it. Mandy looked at me. Anyway, hold on. I know I bought some. I don't know where they are, but anyways, Mandy looked at me and she said, "What man, honey?" She goes, she goes, "That man right there." She says, "Don't you sing?" And she's like, "No, I don't, honey." And I was looking, and so I sat down on the bed with her and I said, "Are you okay, sweetie?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "But he's gone now, so I'm gonna go back to sleep." I was like, okay, so we gave her a kiss and told her goodnight. Well, okay, she was fine for a few hours. I'm saying like 3 or 4 hours. And we was going to go out on the porch and sit for a little bit. And then next thing we knew, we heard her scream. I mean, she screamed bloody murder like someone was trying to kill her. We ran. I'm talking about we ran in that room. She's sitting up in the bed, up against the corner. She's shaking like this. And her face was red. I mean, we tried to calm her down. We couldn't. It took forever to get her calmed down. So she says, "What's going on, sweetie? What's wrong?" She says, "That other man." We said, "The man that made you laugh?" She says, "No, the other man was trying to get me." And I got chills, and you probably can't see, but I've got chills. And she says, "There's nobody in here." She says, "The other man's trying to get me." So I'm thinking, okay, who's the other guy? Now, one person she was talking to, the first person she was talking about the candy, we found out later by my other friend that he used to give candy out to kids because he loved kids, and he always, sit and give candy out to them and stuff whenever they came over, like nieces and nephews and stuff. But the other guy, we couldn't figure out, like, what's going on? Well, there's a stray cat, and at the time there was a stray cat, a big gray and white cat. It was an older cat. It was, like, always running around. So I was like, "Watch this." I told my friend, I said, "Now, I'm going to tell you right now, cats are open to spiritual stuff." I said, "And they're good protectors." I said, "So I'm going to tell you right now." I said, we're going to try to catch the stray cat, see if we can't bring him in. And we'll know for sure if it's something spiritual. Well, we finally caught it. We got it in with some food or whatever. And it came in. It was real friendly. It was a real friendly cat. Well, the thing is we just brought him in and just set it down, gave it a little bit of food. It ate. It didn't even finish the food. It ate it. And then all of a sudden it looked up. The cat looked up at the bedroom door. And because we left it open. And he meowed real loud and then walked over to it. And get this, the little girl was still crying. Now, I'm not gonna say their names and stuff because that's not important. So y'all don't need to know the names of the little girl or anything like that. But anyways, it saw the little girl and she was still crying, and it literally jumped up on her and laid on her chest. And when it did, she just literally, she stopped crying just like that. And yeah, it was pretty creepy. She just stopped crying, and then she lay down and she gave the cat a hug. And that cat just laid there with her forever. It laid there with her until she fell asleep. We went back in there and checked. She was asleep. The cat was still laying with her, and she was still hugging the cat. And after that, we ended up keeping the cat for a little bit, and until one day we opened the door and it got out, and we never seen it anymore after that. But yeah, that was creepy. Now I've heard quite a bit of stories about I don't want to say too much, but I've heard quite a few stories. But you have to, when someone, I used to do paranormal investigation, so yeah, I totally believe in spirits. So, but when someone when people die, sometimes it depends on the type of death. They're lost. Some of them don't even know they're dead. And that can be scary. Well, not just for the person who experiences it, but for them as well, because they're lost and they don't realize they're dead. Although there's people around and they're trying to talk and nobody's answering them. So, stuff like that is real. And, but after a while, nothing happened. There's no way I'm out of mayonnaise already. But yeah. Sometimes spirits get lost and don't really know where they're at, and well, I don't know. It's like just like an out of body of experience thing, but they're actually past. Some of them don't realize it, but yeah, it's scary, and it's something like kids have imaginary friends. Okay, yeah, that can happen, but if you always, especially kids and animals, always listen to your kids. If your kids come to you and say they see something, or they say there's a monster in their bed, you know, look, y'all, but I mean, they could have just an imaginary friend, but you got to also think that these imaginary friends can be real in their eyes, and they could actually be real spirits that we're dealing with. You have to always listen to your kids, always. If you have little, and even animals, if animals start acting weird, or they start staring at one space, or at the wall, the ceiling, or one space, and they just stare and just stare and just stare, or they just start acting weird, like, you know, and they don't pay attention to what you're saying to them, they just act weird. Pay attention to stuff like that, y'all. Y'all need to pay attention to stuff like that. Animals and kids can sense spirits. They really can. You know, it's real. It's real. Just like the devil's real. Just like God's real. People who pass, their spirits can be real. People who's lost animals, their spirits can come back, and, you know, you always know. But if someone says something like that, y'all listen to it. But I had to get that stuff out. And it started, I was meaning to just tell y'all about the... okay, I appreciate the compliment, Craig, but you don't have to be sexual about it, because I'm not on here for anything like that. This is not what I do. I make videos, I make home videos, and I make videos to tell stories that's happened to me and stuff. I do appreciate the comment, but you don't have to be like sexual about it. I just ask that you keep those comments to yourself, and please don't post those on my thing, please. But yeah, sometimes my cats will act weird. I've had things come up missing. Of course, I do have haunted dolls in my house. I haven't been accurate with them and stuff, because I'm trying to change my ways into doing better things. But always listen to your gut. I started on here just to tell y'all the dream I had about my friend, and then it turned out to another dream I had about another friend of mine, and then it turns into this. So yeah, this stuff, these stories I'm telling you are real. Stuff like that is real. Hi, Morsi. Hey, Bubby. But hey, I need to sit down. Sit down right here. Just people and women, trust your gut too. If you think something's not right, trust it. Because like I said, when I was in the shower and I felt that hand go down, like literally, it was like so soft, like somebody was caressing me. Is what it felt like. And boy, I think everybody in the whole building heard me. I screamed so loud. What is it, Bubby? But you need to watch for stuff like that. But yeah, some spirits out here are not going to hurt you, but there's also some that will. You don't know what you're messing with. I don't mess with Ouija boards. I'm sorry. No. Last time I messed with the Ouija board, I was in my 20s, and I asked it a question what I was doing, and it literally told me what I was doing at that time I was doing it. I haven't touched Ouija board since then. That's been like a few years ago. I don't believe in, I believe, like I said, in supernatural, but I don't believe in, what is it, Morris? What is it, baby? I just don't mess with the Ouija board, and I'm going to tell other people don't mess with it either. But, that totally don't have anything to do with what I'm talking about, but I just wanted to tell y'all the dreams I had and stuff, and it got into more dreams and other stuff, but yeah. So I'm going to hop off here, and I'm going to eat my food. I hope everybody's doing good, regardless of where you're at, what country you're in, whether it's morning, night, afternoon, whatever, evening. God bless you all. And I just wanted to tell you all these stories. But I just can't understand why I had that one dream that was with my friend Tracy. And I was like, I'm going to say it was probably about 3 years ago. And why I had that dream. And then I woke up. When I woke up this morning, it was like, that's the first thing that was on my mind when I woke up. I thought that was kind of weird. And I just kind of want maybe some opinions on what y'all thought that might be or what that might mean. If any of y'all are spiritual or whatever, let me know. Because that means something. Because, I mean, out of all the years I've had a dream, I've never woke up and then it just literally be in my head. The exact same dream. I just find that kind of awkward. And then that dream I had with my friend, Cody, and it was like 3 nights in a row. That was weird too. So I still don't know really what's going on with that. But y'all let me know what you think, especially with the first one. But alright, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to eat. Peace. Love you guys. I don't do Facebook very often, live anyways. I'm usually on YouTube. So if y'all want to see more videos of me and me being live more on YouTube, hit me up on YouTube. Like I said, go to the top of my Facebook page and it's pinned up there. Just click on the link, like and subscribe. So subscribe to my YouTube because I'm on there more. And also, you guys, I'm sorry, my phone down. The Face of Halloween. Come on, you guys, vote for me. I need some votes. Last year, I had 6 votes. I was 6 votes away from winning. So y'all, come on, vote for me. Vote. There's one that's on there. If you don't want to pay to vote, you don't have to. There's one that's on there for free. You can vote for me every 24 hours on that free one if you want. If you do pay for it, I appreciate it. But anyways, just, yeah, y'all vote for me. And don't forget to go to the link pinned at the top of my Facebook page either. And like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I say, I'm on there more. And then again, vote for me for the face of Halloween. Love you guys. Out.